In accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Laws 1975, be advised that notice of this meeting was made by posting on the bulletin board, town hall, and sending to officially designated newspapers indicating that the meeting will take place at the community center at 9 a.m. on this date. The fire exits are located in the far right corner of the back and to my immediate left in the front. Per Resolution 156-20, establishing rules of conduct in accordance with public meetings, please be advised of the following. All members of the public must step up to the designated public microphone, state for the record their name and address before addressing mayor and council. Roll call.
Councilman Aguilar.
Here.
Councilman Haynes.
Here.
Councilman Hurley.
Here.
Councilman McDonald.
Here.
Councilman Clockberry.
Here.
Council President Burnside is.
Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we continue our budget discussions, I'd like to turn it over to Patty.
Okay, so today we have police department here. So I guess we'll start with your regular budget since that's flat. But I don't know if you did any moving around that you want to discuss, and then we'll move over back.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Thank you. I first want to thank the mayor and council for coming this Saturday. My last Saturday I had a work conflict. I was in Washington, so I really appreciate everybody rescheduled for me. Thank you. So basically looking at the budget, this is probably my 7th budget, and I just want to thank Patty working on it the last 7 years. I believe I maintained the budget under 2% for the last 7 years. I always say there's the needs versus the wants, and I basically just, it's this stuff we need, not that we want. Try to have a responsible fiduciary responsibility to the borough and also to the taxpayers. I know there's some members of the audience here, so I just want to thank everyone working together to streamline my budget along with the LT here. So as far as expenses, that's what you want to start with, Patty?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, it's basically just the same thing, each line item. I believe we maintained the same thing as last year. Again, needs versus wants is the police cars. We're actually for, again, 2 police vehicles this year. That's something, we're 365, 24/7 agency. And between, some of the cars we have to keep running because of all the electronics in there. That also uses hours on motor. So again, 2 police cars. We also utilize them for third-party jobs for traffic where the town does make money in it. I believe last year we probably made enough money doing the third party to purchase 1 patrol car, because obviously we charge the contractor X amount of dollars and the officer works, the money goes back to the town. I don't know, anything you want to add to the police cars? The lieutenant's in charge of the vehicle fleet.
Just that I gave all council members a breakdown of the equipment that's necessary that goes in a patrol vehicle. For the last, I've been in lieutenant for 4.5 years. We've been buying Ford Interceptors. That seems to be the main police vehicle out there. What I found, and I think what a lot of agencies find, is these vehicles are problems. I mean, they're in and out of the shop constantly. Warranty work, sometimes they have the vehicle for months because it goes to the end of the line with warranty work, and they'll get to it when they get to it. I've broken down the 3 vehicles that are associated with the Morris County Co-op this year through Nielsen. The Ford Interceptor, you'll see the price of $45,634. The Dodge Durango is available at $45,525, and then the Chevy Tahoe is available at $56,719. You'll see a lot of agencies out there now driving Tahoes. I think there's a reason for that. They last longer, they're more durable. So I would like to see us make a transition, possibly to the Chevy Tahoe, and see how we do with those. I think, long term, we're probably going to save a lot more money in maintenance.
What about, how's their availability? I mean, quick and
Well, availability is tough, right? And we're still, the 2 vehicles that we got back in 2023 are still not on the road. They're sitting at major waiting to be upfitted. If I was able to order these Tahoes, if you gave us 2 this spring, once the budget's passed, probably looking at getting them somewhere towards the end of the year, and then upfitting, they probably won't see the road until 2026 anyway.
So we haven't received the 24 either, car that we put in last year's budget.
We
right?
did,
Oh, we did.
Chief got the administrative vehicle.
We did,
Got one
okay.
vehicle, yes. But he bought a leftover 23.
Yeah, so I actually saved money, that's one thing I do, try to find my line, pinch the penny, so like you said, it's listed for 56, I got mine for, it was 49 and change, it was left over.
Nothing on top,
Sorry, yeah, correct, yeah, mine in the top.
Any problems?
No, it's outstanding, great. Again, in addition to that, I could, I have a lot of resources throughout the police chief, so when the police chief chat, and I was asking, hey, what dealership are you using, who's got the leftovers, who's got the best prices, so again, we're always definitely shopping. It's like if you go personally for a car, you gotta shop for value, right?
I don't know if this is a question for Conrad, Chris, or Patty. The $301,000 in overtime, does that include the mosque contract?
No, that wouldn't, because that would be paid from the mosque.
Okay.
No, it's just that with the increase in salaries, obviously their hourly rate would go up, that's why I had to increase overtime.
Okay.
I have a question. So when we spoke and I budgeted, so what we usually do, it kind of jumps between capital budget and, the regular budget. So they have a line item in there for cars, and then they put the balance, so what they usually do is give me an amount, and we take whatever we put in the regular budget for cars, which is about just under 50,000, we minus the total they ask, and then we put the balance in capital. It looks like you've changed this since we talked, because I only total have 135, and that would be almost 2 interceptors. So if you decide to go to Tahoe's, we're going to be needing to increase the capital budget by 50,000. Am I correct in saying that? Because if you're saying you're 90,000 each,
The
we
capital,
would need 180.
well, the 49,000 and change that's in the line item, that would cover the upfitting.
Well, but isn't it 90,000 include the upfitting? Like, we always looked at it as a package. We figured the car, the upfitting, and all that comes to 90, correct? Looking at your sheet, that 90,000, does that include the upfitting?
All right, which sheet are you talking about? The one
The one
I
you
handed
just
out?
gave
The
us.
one you gave.
Yeah.
Yes, that includes the upfitting.
So, okay, so we always look at the car, at least when we're always talking, we always consider the car with the upfitting, because that's the car.
Yeah, the
So-
car price is listed at the top.
Right.
Yeah.
We always say we're gonna, like, leave that line item in there, and that's why we'll take, so I'm saying we normally take it, times it by 2, because you're asking for 2, so
Right.
you're saying it's 180.
Right.
Minus off the 50,
Right,
I don't have enough money then.
and that's
We're
where,
having, okay.
that's worst case scenario, that's if, say, and I asked her some of the equipment that goes into the vehicles, if we're able to reuse a radio, from one of the older cars that were taken out of the fleet, or that we're relegating to a road job car. Depending on where that car is in its lifespan, or how we're doing, I mean, I could walk into work this week and one of our engines could need major work, so that's all dynamic, and we're talking about a year from now probably, when this car can actually see upfitting.
Pat, quick question on the capital, I see SUV 2, but it's only the one for the 90,000, right?
No,
We
because
go over-
originally, okay, so
So I'm seeing 3 cars, 2 in capital, 1 in general?
what happened was, forget what we just said about the 90.
Okay,
We were looking, I think, originally at the interceptors, which were 80 each.
okay.
I guess we were talking. So that was 160. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I was
how
saying,
you-
I see
the
you-
num- I don't know how you, actually, I don't know how you did your number.
Okay, I see
It
it.
was, because you were telling me that was for 2, when I put in the budget for 90.
Okay, you have 2 cars in capital and 1 on the regular budget, so that's 3 cars, right?
No.
No,
So
it
what
should be
happened
for
is,
each.
years ago, they didn't buy SUVs. No town bought SUVs. They bought cars. Passenger cars cannot be put into capital. So all municipalities had to put that car in their budget.
Okay.
Well, as we moved over to SUVs, the money's already in your budget. So what a lot of towns are doing is they're taking the SUVs, putting them into capital, but minusing out what they have in their budget already, because it's in there, it just keeps it flat, and it gets used for upfitting. So that's why when we talk, there's a car and upfitting, but usually when we try to talk, we're trying to look at, when we say a car, I consider the upfitting first of the car. It's gotta be done, it's not like it's an option. So, but I think since we spoke about this capital budget, they looked at these, which are a little bit more. So I'm saying that it looks like we're gonna have to, if they agree to 2 cars, I'm gonna have to increase the capital.
Yeah, the price, so bare bones, the price of the Ford Interceptor since we purchased one last time has went up $10,000.
Okay. So just looking at it and just using these numbers, just to use the numbers we have, if he does the 2 cars at 90, that would be 181. I currently have about 140 between the capital and the budget, so I would have to put about another $40,000 into capital if you decide to buy 2 of the Tacos or whatever. That's just what I'm looking at.
Actually, you only put SUV in the capital only, right?
Excuse me?
SUVs only can go in the capital, right?
No, they can go in your regular budget, but you don't wanna do
But you
that.
can't put regular into the capital.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's the worst case, like you said, if we're trying to use equipment, we can. Again, we're not about new and shiny, if we can use it, we use it, we'll transfer from one vehicle to another vehicle. And again, like I said, hopefully Lieutenant will go try to get, better prices, obviously fiscal responsibility.
And to your point, you're getting a lot of money back into town with the jobs, right? A lot of money goes back into the,
Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers, that's something Patty might have right at the compound, but I can, Lieutenant runs a third party, and just by using the third party, because the town charges administrative fee, and a lot of guys are on the top pay, and I can guarantee it pays for at least one patrol car, because we work a lot of third party jobs.
That would charge a vehicle fee too.
And yeah, in addition, we charge a vehicle fee for the,
$50 for every 4 hours.
yeah, and the average job usually averages $100 per job.
And then any chance we get another LPR?
ALPR, yeah, that's possible, we'll look at some grants out there also.
Grants, yeah. So we don't have to purchase them
Yeah.
ourselves, well,
Yeah.
if there's a
I
grant.
was looking, I think last budget cycle, we spent $20,000 in weapons, and we used that for the forfeiture. So, try to save money as much as we can. Forfeiture is probably, I think we're down, 7,000, 8,000? Yeah, 30,000 there, so, but we just had a seizure, what was that, last month, so we should be getting hopefully $5,000 more back into the forfeiture.
Quick question on communications.
Yes.
Last week when the fire department was here, they had a very, very strong position that they needed to upgrade their radios. How, I saw communications kind of went up in the operating budget. Are your radios, they're looking at Motorola 8000s, but that's fire and emergency. In the police department, are your radios in need of upgrading as well, or?
No, I mean, our upgrade was done, about 2 years ago. The county did a, countywide upgrade to the police vehicles. A few years back, they bought radios, which, with the capability of, upgrading their infrastructure. Once they upgraded their infrastructure, they came in and they upgraded everybody's radios to the new band.
Okay.
All right, so we're fine for now, because, we're communicating perfectly fine with the county.
Will your radios, in the event of, let's say, catastrophic emergency, be able to talk to the fire department's radios, or is that kind of?
We don't have the fire department programmed in our radios. We have capabilities if the county gives us a certain channel,
Oh, okay.
a dedicated channel, and puts us all on the same channel.
Right.
We have that capability.
Mhm.
But direct communication as of right now, we cannot communicate on their channels. Right. Now, I upgraded a couple years ago when we went to, the new vehicles, we moved to Kenwood radios, we're able to communicate with Denville and Rockaway Township.
Okay, so
We never had that capability before, but now we do, and also STEM, state police,
Mhm.
and we're able to communicate with them too.
It's another cost savings we did, correct me if I'm wrong, I think like the Motorola, I went to Kenwood, especially for my personal vehicle, I think it was like $5,000 cheaper. Right?
Yeah.
There's a substantial difference, so like, it does the same thing, so. Again, I was looking for the best, always looking for the best value.
Covered with that.
I have a question, so, Connor, your OEM, does the OEM have a radio that can
Yeah, so.
work with the fire
Yeah,
department?
that's a good question, Council.
To tailor.
So yes, so I have a portable OEM radio in my office delivered from OEM. Again, and the county is, Jeff Paul, just got nominated, he's gonna be the head state OEM director in the whole state of New Jersey, he's well respected, they do a great program up in
So
the county.
you still can interface with the fire department
Yeah.
directly, so we do have
Yeah, we do.
a start, but.
Yeah, one radio channel, but again, Again, I don't know what the FD as far as if they were going through the county with the radios or you know, if they looked at other vendors, I don't know, but, yeah.
I do have
Yeah.
a question on the
Sure.
operating budget. Last year you requested 20,000, you only used 11,000.
So,
What was
those numbers are as of the end of November, so
Right.
he still has December. those are not as of the end of the year.
What, was that from?
Well,
Because I had to
communications.
Oh,
Last year
communications,
request was
yeah, okay,
20,000,
yeah.
I spent 11, so. Do you
It might,
anticipate
yeah,
more?
it might have been a little more than that, but like I said, try to be, you know, responsible.
Yeah, I understand.
You know, every year it varies based on what our needs are, so, you know, next year, out of that 20,000, we may need
Go higher.
18,
You
you
don't
know.
Another question?
And again, let me just rephrase. Again, these were printed at the same time theirs were, so these are probably all expenses paid through November. So they probably have another month and anything,
Yeah, like all
December
that.
got paid in January,
Yeah,
correct?
Same with identification, I'm just curious about
No,
that.
I just want to clarify.
So the same can be said from the previous year, right? Whatever charges were in December rolled into 24, correct?
Well, right, so if something comes in January, should we decide
So it is a
December,
12
we go back and put it to the old.
It is 12 months.
Yes.
Can you explain identification, because I see that's even down too, Chris?
Yeah, identification, yeah, that was probably, might have spent a couple more $100. There's just a line item that really wasn't, you know, utilized. Again, like I said, since I've been chief, I probably, you know, 10%, 50%, I try to maintain under budget, so that's all. Again, the problem in our business is, it's a what if. It's gotta be.
Correct, I understand.
Yeah,
You don't want to take down tomorrow night.
Yeah. And another thing to point out too is our accreditation maintenance, that's gone up over the years. I actually called up, it's DMS, right? DMS, yeah, so,
It's quadruple.
yeah, so I actually called the vendor and I go, look, what are you doing here? I go, I go, your bill's quadrupled in the last 2-3 years. And I go, you're not the only vendor in town. I go, I'm not happy about it. So, if it continues to go up, I'm already talking to another vendor. So that's one thing we're very cognizant of. Lieutenant and I is, you know, line by line, looking at, you know, trying to save money, stay on the budget.
How you guys doing with the license plate readers? Remember about 3 or 4 years ago, you were able to procure a couple of them for our patrol.
Yeah, we did.
That's what
That's what the
That's the
ALPR,
RPR.
yeah, we got them through grants, you know, right now, we'll see what's gonna happen with grants as far as, you know, obviously you see a lot of federal stuff is getting cut, I know, Mikey Sherrill, might be coming out with some more grants, that's one thing I think, you know, again, I talked to the mayor about is I would like to see maybe the town even hire a grant writer because they're the professionals, and, you know, they have the connections to Trenton and it's free money, so we can talk about that in the future.
Okay, so then I guess the only other item on your capital is the computers, which is just for your rotation. I think it's self-explanatory.
Yes.
Every couple of years, we need to update computers, so we're not putting them all in 1 year. So I think you spoke with Rob O'Connor and are comfortable that 6,500 will be enough to rotate out the computers that you need for this year. Other than that, I don't know if you guys have any else.
I just wanted to confirm, it looks like we are getting the new Alpha instrument this year. That money was appropriated, I believe, probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
I just want to confirm that that's still, sitting there waiting.
I think it was probably 4 years ago. It's definitely.
While I'm looking that up, is there any other questions?
And then the upgrade to our cell block, doors.
I believe we put that in.
Yeah, we put that in.
Okay, it just has to be.
I wanted to take care of it last year, because of manpower issues and whatnot. It looks like we're gonna push it off to this year, so try to get it done this year.
So I will try to get another exemption, but, you know, again, trying to save money, I know it's probably, what, $50,000 we want it?
No, it's somewhere around 24 grand.
Per cell?
No.
Total, okay.
Something we need to do.
We have to do it.
We have to do it.
We don't have a choice.
It's
Yeah,
be done
I
today.
think the can down the road for about
Yeah.
4 years. When I say that, I mean, you know, it was legally done through, you know, exemption forms, but they only allow you certain exemptions.
There's only so many times you
Yeah,
can tell, so.
yeah, so.
And
You have to
just
protect
so
yourself.
everybody's clear, it's a retrofit. It's a retrofit of what we have already. We're not replacing anything or redoing the cells. We're basically plating the doors to become current with the standards for the DOC.
You're making a statement for your guests. That's what-
Yeah.
So I have $11,800 in that alk test. That sound about right?
In Alcatraz?
Yeah.
No, it should be,
No, I think it's 22.
20 something.
Well, then you must have encumbered it already, because I was gonna just tell you 22,800 has been encumbered.
Oh, they made us do a PO for that.
Is that going to Drager?
Yes.
Okay, so the PO's already issued, so you still
Okay.
have a balance of 11,000.
Yeah, so we're good.
Okay, and then the other thing you were just talking about, the cell doors. Yes, we have replacement, so the money is in place, it just, when you're ready to do it. Okay.
So, we have a few other orders of business, then we'll go into closed session for personnel for you guys. So if you
Sure,
guys
no
can
problem.
kinda hang tight for
Yeah, sure.
a few moments.
Have a better.
Good budget, guys, thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you do in the borough.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay, I just wanna go over a couple of items, obviously, just so we can just kind of wrap up a couple of things. I think I said it out, I don't know if everybody heard you, I gave everybody a new sheet for fire department to replace the one that you had in your book, because when they came in last week, they came in with some stuff I didn't have on there, and that it was such a big ticket item, I did wanna update the sheets, so that just replaces the sheet that you had in there. In the last week, I did add a new line item under engineering, if you wanna go to your engineering tab. Because with the, Jackson Ave Riverbank, we had DEP permits. And usually what happens is we try to lump all that type of stuff in with the project, but the permits have to be paid now, and the project's not gonna be done until next year. So I did have to make a line item for DEP permit for Jackson Ave, and then we have a $3,500 permit that we have to pay to, for the Able Oil property. And again, when we get that property sold, that permit will go away. But I just, in the past, just took it out of engineering, but I really think I should break it out, especially now, that it's, starting to add up a little bit. Because the permits for Jackson Ave were about 13,000, I think, and the permit for, Able was about 3,500. So I did make a new line item, just breaking it out, just so we can, see it again next year. Obviously, if we have other projects that we need to do, I think it's a good place to start putting the permits if we have to budget for them. Because then it just makes sense that it explains what it is exactly.
Patty, on Jackson Ave, $13,000 just to permit the DEP to proceed on with the project.
So we just submitted a permit in for Jackson Ave to get the riverbank.
The
So
detail,
it's two permits, it's I think of wetlands and I think of flood, and the two add up to about
so
13,000.
after that, we'll get a plan hopefully together and see what.
Well, yeah, so once, we're hoping to, when now these permits, DEP's gonna look at it, they're gonna get all their information, they're gonna give us feedback. They're gonna say they wanna see
Well,
this,
we're
they don't
missing-
wanna see this.
That's what-
Correct.
How long do those permits last?
Last or take to get?
No, last.
That I don't know. I don't know what time frame. I could find that out. I just know that it could take up to 6 months to maybe even a year to get it back. So we're just hoping sooner than later.
Some 5 years comes to my mind.
We had that on when we rebuilt the dam.
Something about across the street, too, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's on the road, that was all out for at least 5 years.
Regular budget for engineering? Regular?
Yeah, it's in regular budget, correct. So it's a new line item in the regular budget. Just what else? I added, a little money into the dispatch line because depending on what you decide to do with the radios for the fire department, if you do go county radios, our dispatch will go up. So I did add $5,000 in there, because it could, if you do all the radios they want, it'll probably be additional $5,000. I'll do that in a second. I'm just trying to do all the regular stuff. Water capital, it was requested for a duty truck. Thinking about it and being able to justify, the duty truck also does sewer, and we do have that sewer reserve. So instead of going out for the whole duty truck, I talked to the auditors and said that it goes out in bulk. So I am looking to fund half of that out of sewer reserve, so we don't have to go as much for the water capital. Because it does utilize both.
Good job.
So it justifies. And I just wanna look at capital, I think, not to make any final decisions today, but I just wanted to highlight a couple of things, and mainly with partly the fire department. You know, the radios, just trying to figure this all out, it came out obviously a lot higher than we thought. But he's requesting 24 radios. My understanding is they already have 9 county radios, so that would have them have 34 radios. I don't think they even have that many members. I think he said he has 24. So I'm thinking, do we need to buy as many? Because if they only have 24 members and they already have 9 radios, I would think the radio count should be 15, not 24. So the mayor and I were gonna sit with the chief and just kind of make sure that we're just not overbuying because of the price that they are. And then looking at the quote too that they gave us, a couple of things say add, and I just wanna make sure that the county radios we have, it's like we're doing county radio to county radio, and we're not just getting a couple extra features, whatever, because the ads are over $60,000. So I just wanna make sure if they feel they truly need it and justify that they want it, I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just wondering if it's just a matter of it was like, oh, you might as well get this, you can have this, you know. The mayor and I just wanna have a conversation to make sure that we're getting county radio to county radio. Alright, and then, once we get those answers, I can give you a better answer on that. So again, do we need as many radios? I just wanna confirm, I didn't think of that last week, because I did tell him he had 9, and he's asking for 24, we just wanna confirm all that.
Is there any reason why he can't just come before us for 15 minutes on the next Saturday we meet?
Well, we want to try to get.
Well, we wanna try to have an answer so you guys, cause the next time we really meet, you're gonna be wanting to finalize, so we'll get that information to get it to you guys, so when we meet the next time, we can have the discussion and we basically will have an answer, because otherwise we're gonna be dragging the budget out on and on and on. And again, your capital right now, right now, the request for debt is almost $2 million. This is just general capital. Now, I'm gonna take out that we're getting a $218,000 grant. I'm taking out $250,000 of that, which is the money from Vanderhook property. I'm taking out $377,000, which I'm taking out of the sewer reserve to fund the one project. That brings what I need to go out to debt for now at $1,084,000. Okay?
And it's not including the savings on the radio if you do it, right?
What?
You have savings on the radio forever, it's not including that yet, right?
I'm giving you what everybody proposed. Everything everybody proposed.
Okay.
Again, debt is on council to decide how much they wanna go out for debt, and that's your decision. I think that's high, cause it's every year. If we go out for debt for $1 million every year, that's not really good. So I think what you guys maybe wanna do is look at the capital and decide if that's where you guys wanna go.
What did we go out for debt last year? We didn't, right?
No, we didn't.
We did, how much?
For general capital only, I'm gonna give you, for now.
That works.
643.
643.
Mhm.
Is that bonded or total cash?
That's the total that we, no, that's the total we went out for debt.
Okay.
So we're just talking
Okay.
debt right now. Okay? So, again, just some food for thought there for everyone to decide. Okay. So that's regular capital, general capital. Water capital, great shape. Water capital, we're looking at going out for debt. Is 608,000, but 80,000 of it is a grant. 45,000 of it is for sewer reserve. We're gonna take out our sewer reserve, so we'll be going out for 523. That 523 may be reduced substantially, wait a minute. I'm sorry, the debt we would be going out for, inclusive, is 483,000. After all the grants and everything. Mainly because we're looking to do that maybe CDBG project. If that does not go through, and we do not get it, and we pull it, the debt we're gonna go out for that is only 165,000.
Thank you.
So water's in very good shape. Water would just be, the biggest nut of that is just gonna be doing that water sewer main. So those are the items I think, and I think it's more general capital we have to look at and decide if that's how much debt you guys wanna go out for. I don't have any numbers of, for the regular budget, due mainly to the fact that the state has not, given out the state aid yet. There's rumors that they're gonna cut the state aid. We don't even know if we're gonna have the numbers next week, so,
Yeah, so I'm canceling next week's budget meeting,
Oh,
and then we'll have it March 1st.
waiting for the additional information. That we know where we are at this moment and where we need to be. So I'd rather have a little bit more solid information for, so next Saturday's budget meeting is canceled.
So let me just make sure those were the highlights I wanted to give you for this week. Oh, and then the only other thing that I may need to, I have to still just meet with Melissa to go over the fire incentives, and that would need to be added into the budget. So, I have not yet met with Melissa, and those are my highlights.
all right, good,
Thank you, Patty.
good.
Thank you.
I do also have for the, auditor for the water sewer is anywhere from 20,000 to 27,000 to do the water sewer analysis, and that's all I have.
Great.
How do you know, in the water capital, how are we replacing the finished wells in the back?
That's all, that we all have, that's all done in last year's budget.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we,
nothing else has to be added to this year's
you're
budget.
doing construction and the installation, or is this still in the preliminary
The
engineering?
wet wells you're talking
Yeah,
about,
wet
all
wells.
the, yeah, that's, it's, we have our bond ordinance and everything in place for
Oh,
that.
okay, okay.
Right, that's all in place. We didn't go out for debt for it yet, but that's all in place to take care of the wet wells.
Okay, do they wanna do any other improvements down in the treatment plant?
I think we have enough, Billy and I sat and Samantha looked at this, and we have 2 or 3 very big projects, and with the wet wells, the Jackson Ave, and that, and we're trying to do the ones that we have to do or get grants for, but we want to try to focus on the money that we have instead of just keep going out for debt and having all these projects sitting there doing nothing, you know, because you can only focus on so much at one time. Okay.
Thank you.
I had a quick question for the chief and lieutenant here. How many current vehicles do we have?
We have, 4 administrator.
One thing about the vehicles, until we're ready for the graveyard, we use them.
Yeah,
Especially the older ones for road jobs, because might as well,
Yeah.
especially, they're paid for, so.
All right, so 4 admin, those are all trucks, or those are mixed trucks and cars?
They are mixed. There are three trucks, 1 car.
3 trucks, okay.
Currently in patrol, we have 5 patrol vehicles.
let me preface this, is the goal to go all truck?
Well, it's not so much a wall truck, that's kind of what the options are out there, right?
Yeah.
They're basically SUVs. We go Charger, Dodge Charger, but we've seen they don't hold up.
Yeah, okay.
And for police work, the SUV is a lot more useful.
Okay, so for,
Right now, we have 5 currently in the rotation for patrol, with 2 pending from 2023 that are still waiting to be upfit.
so 2 pending.
And then 3, the black and whites that you see running around town. Aside from 1 officer that happens to like the car, they're relegated to road jobs.
Gotcha. So we got,
Radios, the radars will be coming out of those and going into the new vehicles with 23.
And even SROs, they use their own trucks sometimes, they go from, I think, because we don't have enough cars, they go, right, correct, the SROs use one pickup trucks to go from headquarters to, personal cars, to go from.
Yeah, something we never had, until recent years is we now have 4 class 3 officers that essentially should be taking police vehicles
yeah,
back and forth to the schools with them situated in front of the school for visibility.
alright.
We don't have that luxury right now.
So we got 12 on the road, 2 pending. 4 admin, 5 patrol, and 3 black and white.
Yes.
Okay. We're asking for 2 more.
Yes.
Okay.
And folks, the other thing to consider, every month I go through and we will sign the invoice, I look at every one. And what I've noticed, and Chief and Lieutenant mentioned the old Dodge vehicles that we have. The cost to repair those has gone up astronomically.
Yeah.
Auto parts plus labor. But when you take a look at what used to, be, okay, well, we can sneak by another year. You total up all of your repair expenses in that. And that's why, I'm chatting with the lieutenant, looking for long-term durability is a key. Because you just can't have one of these police vehicles. They're considered extreme use in the automotive world.
Yeah.
And they're running 724 in all kinds of weather. But if you get 3 or 4 years out of a vehicle, and we have to start dumping money into it, look at those that have a track record that you can work for.
Yeah,
durability.
longevity is paramount here, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, our F-150 is over at the repair shop right now, and it's got the engine pulled apart.
Mhm.
The cans are bad.
Yeah.
So 4
It's got
is,
30,000 miles on it.
yeah,
So
It's out of warranty.
we're dunking on 4.
It's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
So once the 23 vehicles to get ready, then you'll have, the older ones will be able to go to the school officers, they'll be fully.
If we have them, if they're not assigned dedicated to road jobs, yeah.
The only other point, not for this year's budget, possibly next year, obviously with the senior housing project going on West Main Street, as well as proposed apartment complex that's going up on 46, maybe time to start thinking about an incremental officer, to the department. I figure that'd be more of a discussion for next year's.
Yeah, definitely
Budget.
something, it should be on your radar, because, the increase in the population and the call volume.
Okay, thanks guys, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Great budget
Thank you.
presentation.
Thanks, Chief. Thanks,
Thank you
Lieutenant.
very much.
Chris, good to see you, Chief.
Thank you.
I'd like to open the meeting to the public.
Ron DeVito, Jackson Ave. My expertise is actually in communication and the purchase of police vehicles. And like I told you before, police vehicles from 2020 till now, just the base price is going up $35,000 plus the upfitting. And as they are saying, Dodge is terrible. You want to stay away from Dodges. Ford has gone downhill. They no longer hold up. And the life expectancy of a police car is 5 years. After that, as the councilman said, you're just dumping money in it, and your budget goes from 30,000 to repairs to 90. So buying police vehicles, it's part of the world. The upfit for your cells, I come from a police department with 80-plus-year-old cells. We got away with the state allowing us to just put plexiglass on them so it saved us a lot of money. I don't know if that's an option that you want. And with the 8,500 radios that the fire department wants, radios have changed today. You're buying these radios and they're gonna last you for probably 15 to 20 years, because now the radios are computers. So the add-ons that you see, they just discovered, oh, we can put Bluetooth in them, we can put Wi-Fi in them, there's also new compliances because they do a radio testing where if there's a dead zone, they actually make the people put radio frequencies, or if it's a dead zone for police and fire with the Motorola's, they can set up a standard Wi-Fi in that building, so when the officer goes in or the firefighter goes in, their radio switches to that Wi-Fi so they don't lose communication. So it's a life safety issue. And Nickel and Diamond, 24 radios, they have 9, they have 20-something members, they have vehicles. Radios get broken easily in a fire, with water, with just regular damage. We don't want them to be without equipment. These are the two departments, police and fire, that you should spend all the money we can on, because they keep our residents and the town safe.
I
Thank
think we were asking for clarification.
Thank you. Just for reference, when Mr. Diaz said thank you for the comments, and like he said, another issue with the cars, like after 4 or 5 years, they get unsafe, like guys are traveling at high rates of speed to calls, and that's the ones when we shift actually to the traffic jobs, where they're just sitting with the lights on the construction site. So we do try to cycle, like you mentioned, you know, keep those for the traffic jobs.
Yeah, no, I see you use the worst cars for a traffic
We
jam.
do.
I see it all the time.
Yeah, you have to
I
drive,
understand.
yeah. And they can break down sometimes, sitting there, so
Well,
bad.
they're
Right?
less
I had to tell them the other day what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I go to Necon and pick up a car.
But in defense of the SUVs, with the amount of
Chevy-
equipment that
Chevy is
you
the best.
have to keep on a vehicle now, and you just can't sit there and shut it off, you have to keep it idling for, all of the things that are temperature sensitive. That extreme use shows up real quick.
Your base price of the vehicles
Yeah,
are with the upfitting has gone outrageously high, and you're waiting 6 or more months in line. Like I have cars waiting from last year, which I'm sure they do,
They do too, which is awful.
because
terrible.
there's such a backlog,
no.
and the cages, the cost of steel, everything goes up. So a car that a Crown Vic that we were paying 25,000 base price, a 10,000 upfit. Now the upfit is costing us 25 to 30,000, plus the 35,000 increase to the base price of a Ford, which has gone up. Like the lieutenant said, I think this year's increase is $10,000. It's crazy.
Any other comments from the public?
George Schuster, 215 Andrew Drive in Rockaway. Thank you, police officers. We appreciate everything you guys do. But my question is on the bond, the $600,000 bond that we need to get to take care of the, the Main Street, right? Where will that be? Is that part of these numbers here that we were just given?
No.
And, okay, so where will that be realized in the budget? The $600,000 bond?
So once the ordinance is passed, that's not, so everything that we're talking about here is the capital. That is a bond that we have to go out to pay for that. We're talking about, this is all stuff that supports like our infrastructure, our police cars and all that, so.
Got it.
So I have an ordinance that obviously got introduced the other day. When I go out for this debt, that will be in addition to these numbers.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. Any other comments from the public?
Hello, Katie Clark, 66 West Bank Street. Hello. First thing, I know today is National School Resource Officer Day, so I just wanted to say a shout out to Officer Mark and Officer Scott at the schools. They're both great. I hope you're maintaining those guys, and I'm sure nothing's changing in the budget in that respect, but they're both wonderful. I've got boys in each school, see them every day, so they're wonderful, and they do what is needed, right? They're great, so that's that. And then I want to ask, how many people do you have in your department?
We have 15 full-time sworn officers and 4 class 3s.
Okay, great. To add to what the mayor had said about potentially expanding headcount in the future as the population grows, if you can get a female officer, or you know, whether female officers are applying or they're out there. Like you guys obviously understand sort of the demographics and stuff a little bit more, but just thinking about sort of the population and things like that. Like, because how is it handled now?
Well, we don't hire, we hire the best candidate.
Yes, I understand that.
We actually just hired our first full-blood Latin officer in Rockaway Borough history,
Mhm.
and our demographics are 25% Hispanic, so
I know.
that was a big thing, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, population's 50% women though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're making that point, it's
Well,
just more.
we had no, last time we had no females who actually applied.
I know,
so, yeah.
but I mean, that could be
And
something.
we go above and beyond recruiting. We go to County Cosmos, we put it on Facebook. We're actually accredited police department, so we have a standard that we have to file as far as recruiting goes.
Yeah,
So,
so, okay, my question then is how is that currently handled now? If there's a, say I call the police and wanted to speak to a female officer, because I just feel more comfortable, depending on the situation, how is that handled now?
I understand your question. If we don't have a female
Alright, so
officer,
I'm gonna
then-
call, if I call the police and say, I need the police, and it's a sensitive situation, and I prefer to speak to a female officer, what is the protocol currently?
there is no protocol. If we have a male officer, if you want to speak to a female, it depends what kind of situation it is. We could call the prosecutor's office, we could call a neighboring jurisdiction to see if there's a female officer available.
Okay, I mean, that's just something to
Yeah.
think about, and is if there's no plan, you've got to react in the moment, that's not gonna really be great for the citizen that's calling.
Mhm.
I wanted to ask also, you mentioned last year about having to pay to redo a cell, something like that?
Or
Like-
cell doors.
Yeah, did that get done?
No,
in 24?
not yet.
Do you
We're
do you
looking
still
to-
have to do that?
Yes, we're
Okay.
looking to do it this year.
Perfect. And then, anything else? No, I think I'm good, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Hearing none, closing meeting to the public. Motion to go into closed session.
Motion to go into closed session?
Second.
All there?
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.